What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. I'm Noah Schreckbein, joined always by my main man, Jacob Punturi. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talkers. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. We are live from St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, I woke up this morning bright and early. I had a smile on my face as big as TJ Watt's, and I did not get paid $123 million. I'm just training camp and everything that came with it. Arrivals were today. We talked to Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, Omar Khan, so many people. There is news all over the place. I'm so excited to dive into it. Jacob, it's a good one here in Latrobe. I think I've lost 15 pounds in sweat just from standing around, which is a good day. How are you feeling, my friend?
Oh, man, there's a buzz in the air, even in my basement, as I watch you, because Steelers training camp is finally here. I mean, what better day is it? This is like Christmas Day for all of the Steelers fans, for all of Steelers Nation. To have the whole squad back, it feels like the first day of school for me, with all of those good feelings, all of those wonderful vibes of optimism. Let's get this year started. I'm feeling good. I'm glad that you're up there, happy that the sweat that you've lost has been for good reason, and happy that you got to see and experience a happy TJ Watt and the first glimpses of Jalen Ramsey. What a day for you, man.
It's been a day. It's been a great day, start to finish. I won't lie to you. Even doing the call-in show this morning, which shout out to everybody who called into the call-in show. Did that at like 6 o'clock this morning. I wasn't even a human. I didn't even know how to talk. Took me 2 times just to do the intro before I was like, all right, guys, we're just one shot killing this. This is going to happen. It hasn't slowed down. TJ Watt has a ridiculous smile on his face all day long. He's fired up to be here. Jalen Ramsey had a lot to say that I think was very telling. Omar Khan had plenty to say that I thought was very telling. And then there's obviously some news and some notes, which is where we are going to start. We'll go with the easy ones, okay, before we dive into TJ, Jalen, and everything else. And that is that the New York Giants, my friend, they're cooking. They're cooking with Russ. Russell Wilson has officially been named the starter of the New York Giants. Your thoughts on good old Big Russ without even trying beating out Jackson Dart and Jameis Winston, because Russ can cook, my friend, and he's going to cook this year in New York.
Yes, he is. I will repeat what I messaged you earlier whenever we found out the news. Giants Nation, let's ride. Oh, man, how fun will this 6-5 record be for the New York Giants to bring into their locker room? I was genuinely surprised that Dable named a starter first day of camp. I mean, just not even because of Jackson Dart. Like, yeah, he's a first-round pick. That's exciting for them. But Jameis Winston is an accomplished veteran, has had equal success to Russell Wilson over the last 5 years in terms of on-field performance. So for there to not even be any sort of competition, I found to be a little bit surprising. Not that Russell Wilson isn't the best on paper overall. It's just hard for me coming off of watching him, play in those 12 games for the Steelers last year to really consider him a shoe-in for a starting position in the NFL still. Do you think that's like any different?
No. Look at dude, Russ was going to get the job. We knew it. We were just waiting for the announcement. But Jameis, man, he is still my guy. Holds a 1-0 record in the last year over Russell Wilson. Would like to point that one out. Mm-hmm. And it's not the best news that happened today in surrounding Steelers versus Browns in the matchup that was, because I don't know if you saw the god-awful helmets that they revealed, but they were trash. And on top of that, the mascot falling in the river was insane, dude. It was insane.
Browns gonna Browns, man.
Only in Cleveland, man. Only in Cleveland. It's so good. On the other side of that, good old George Pickens, man. He told media yesterday that, well, when it comes to his new offense and things that are going on, quote, yeah, I'm definitely excited to run better plays for sure. I laughed so hard. Oh, I apologize for the glitch there. Anytime I leave this, it just goes crazy. My best reaction to George Pickens here is simply, well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He didn't run good plays in Pittsburgh. He had the worst offensive coordinator in NFL history. Then he had a bad year with Arthur Smith. So shout out to George Pickens, man. I hope he's thinking of me as well more than I'm thinking of him, because I don't think of him much, but he seems to always be Pittsburgh Steelers, my friend. Shout out to VP.
Steelers are on this man's mind still. This is, of the several topics of Mr. George Pickens that we've discussed this summer, this is probably one where I do find a lot of agreement in. I see a lot of validity in what he was saying. He was not a part of a stellar offensive play calling regime with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'll certainly, I'll concede that point to him. But boy, oh boy, he's still got some feelings in there. So I hope he works it out. Hope he gets the ball adequately in Dallas. Otherwise, we're going to hear about how bad the play calling was in Dallas in 2026, and we'll go from there. But man, tough start. Steelers still taking shots.
Dude, always. He'll never go away. That guy will be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers for the next 30 years of his life. And look at a shout out, brother. Shout out. You know what I mean? Whatever gets you going in the morning. If it's, for me, a cup of coffee, for George Pickens, it's shitting on the Steelers. That's what he is. But whatever gets you rocking and whatever gets you rolling in the morning. Let's turn it over to some actual Pittsburgh Steelers stuff here. Omar Khan is the guy I want to talk about first, and really the last one in the news and notes before we talk Jalen Ramsey, TJ Watt, and some fun stuff that happened throughout the day. Got plenty of cool interviews and really just, a scene and a lay of the land here in Pittsburgh. I mean, I still remember the days of like AB flying in on a helicopter and Vince Williams showing up dressed as Stone Cold Steve Austin and all that good stuff. And Arrival Day has changed for sure, but it's still a good time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Omar Khan shut down completely any thoughts of a wide receiver. Said, look at Roman Wilson in 6 practices has shown me he is probably the next Randy Moss. That's essentially what Omar Khan has been saying twice now this offseason. Calvin Austin showed it last year already. They knew he was the next Wes Welker. They were just waiting to trade George Pickens. That wasn't happening. What might happen, though, is a safety, and he definitely hinted at it today during his press conference. He said, quote, "We signed Juan. That's not to say we won't work to see what else is out there, but part of us being at training camp is to figure out and know the players we have and see how those roles are going to take and how they're going to come together." It kind of does sound like the Pittsburgh Steelers are very much so open to an outside safety, which I want to tie into good old Jalen Ramsey here, who, I mean, in my opinion, very clearly made it known what position he's going to play in Pittsburgh this year.
Jalen, do you want to play safety?
I just want to play football. I don't even know if I can really say this or not. I don't know. Bird might hit me or something.
It's all good.
I just want to play football. I don't care where I'm at. Corner, safety, slot. But at the same time, I don't think I'm getting paid what I'm getting paid to not be in a position to affect the game and be in certain spots. So I'll just say that.
I mean, I don't know about you, but it sure sounded like while Jalen Ramsey has opened up about playing safety later in his career in the past, he's not looking to do so now. Do you feel differently? Because I sat there and said, oh, okay, cool. Jalen is not playing safety with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I didn't get the sense that they've had any conversations, serious conversations, I should say, about Jalen Ramsey taking on a significant role or a straight up position change to safety. I think from the way I interpreted this, and appreciate you following up on Jalen Ramsey after he really did brush off Brooke Pryor when she asked the first time about it. So I'm glad that someone followed up and was like, give us, needed something, man, because we know you want to play football, but where on the field do you want to play football? But I think overall, I didn't get the sense that they have had a lot of serious talks about him playing safety a lot. Maybe he moves within, I think we talked about this before a few times, when you have Joey Porter Jr. and Darius Slay, who figure to be, contributors on the defensive side of the ball, it might make the most sense to have all three on the field at some point, and that could just kick Jalen Ramsey out to the safety position, or he'll play in the slot position, the nickel position. But for the most part, I mean, when you say that I'm paid big time money to make big time plays, unless you're Troy Polamalu or Ed Reed, that says I'm getting paid to be the outside cornerback who locks down the number one wide receiver in crunch time. So maybe that's not the way he meant it, but that's certainly the way I interpreted it.
No, I took it the exact same way, my man. I look at I sat there, and there was like immediately I was like, okay, let's see where Jalen wants to go with this one, because it could go either way. The first time around, like you said, I just want to play football. It's like, okay, cool. He's going to give us a generic answer. And then when he said like Bert might hate me for this, it was like, oh, he's about to get spicy. This is about to get real. And I didn't know where he was going, but without saying it directly, he very clearly said, I'm not playing safety. You're not putting me 30 yards behind the ball with nothing to do unless somebody goes deep. And we're not even going to think about it. I think that's fine. Then you hear Omar's voice and Omar's words. I mean, it definitely sounds like, yeah, we're open to it. But Jalen saying, no, you don't have a backup right now. I got a feeling one's coming, and I don't know anything. I just have a feeling that at some point a safety is going to end up in Pittsburgh, and I think it's going to be soon.
Yeah, I really just think that Ramsey's his comments were really like went hand in hand with what Omar Khan was saying. Like if they were going to move him to safety, and again, let's take all of this with a grain of salt, as we've learned and have been duped multiple times over this summer. Omar Khan could just be throwing a smoke screen somewhere while he's going out and getting Chris Olave or something like that. But it seems like safety is the priority, something that we have also anticipated the Steelers like prioritizing going into this part of the offseason into the regular season. And I think that they are just sort of that's where they are. I don't think if they wanted Ramsey to play safety, that they would still be willing to go out and get more reinforcements, that they would still be prioritizing bolstering their depth in the secondary, because it seems to me that Darius Slay is now the number 3 cornerback.
Yes.
And Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter Jr. will be the ones on the field at all times. And Juan Thornhill probably is on the field as well in the safety position.
That was going to be my next question, is like, where do you see everybody lining up? But I agree with you. I think Jalen's on the outside. I think when you go to a sub package, Jalen will be on the inside. He'll bump in and play the nickel, and Darius will go on the outside. But I think it's Jalen Ramsey, and I think it's Joey Porter Jr. that'll start on the outside. Do you see any world where Darius Slay starts on the outside with Jalen Ramsey and Joey Porter becomes the third?
No, I think that would be to the defense's detriment if you were to knock Joey Porter Jr. down. And I think that would basically roll him out as a long-term solution as the number 1 cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So if they do that, I don't foresee them doing that, for one. And if they do, I think that is a very foreboding sign of things to come with Joey Porter Jr. and sort of where the organization is at and their belief in him. So I do see Darius Slay being the number 3. The only way that I can right now see him being on the field opposite Joey Porter Jr. on the outside is if the base package consists of Jalen Ramsey starting at the safety position alongside Deshaun Elliott, and I just don't think that's happening.
No, I don't think it is either. I think clear as day, the Pittsburgh Steelers plan is to go out and get somebody and to add somebody to this room. And again, like, I bring it back to Quan Alexander. Like, I was driving home from here the last time the Steelers did this, and I mean, we were 15 minutes out of training camp. I think it was day 2, maybe day 1 or something like that. And Quan Alexander signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's there the next day. And I just think the Steelers came here with the group that they have, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the group they finish with. It's not even going to be close. And I see another safety making his way to Pittsburgh, and I think the Steelers made it very clear as day that that's the way things are going to go at some point here during camp. I don't know if it comes soon or if it comes later, but I just don't see anybody in Pittsburgh worth giving a shot to outside of Juan Thornhill to say, oh, well, we'll see if he could be a backup. Like, no, just go sign somebody who could be a backup and or could compete for a starting job. And I think there are a couple of guys out there that the Steelers could go get. Obviously, maybe you go make a trade, but I don't know. Kind of feels like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got their eyes on a safety, and I kind of expect it. Go ahead.
Do you think they missed the boat on Julian Blackmon at all? Do you think that was realistic at any point? And I mean, obviously the Saints had their eye on him, like because they probably knew Tyrann Mathieu was going to retire, but that happened so quickly. I wonder if it was ever realistic for Julian Blackmon to come into the secondary here.
To be honest with you, I don't think so. I kind of looked at the Steelers, and Julian Blackmon is like everybody hopes that's the guy, but I didn't think it was going to be the guy. I think Justin Simmons makes more sense and aligns with what the Steelers have done so far. I think Jordan Whitehead's an easy number 2 just because, if this is a all-in year, you're going to go Justin Simmons. If it's we need a backup, Jordan Whitehead has the connection to just easily call him and bring him to Pittsburgh, and you know him, and you've known him for a long time, so it just feels like a natural fit between Pittsburgh and a guy who's been in the city for quite some time. So I think those are the 2 names to watch. They've been the 2 names to watch. I don't know. I think Julian Blackmon was a pipe dream that a lot of people wanted. How about this name, though? Let me toss this name out there for you. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Ian Rappaport said Quadri Diggs is healthy and looking to get on a team. Would you consider Quadri Diggs?
If he is healthy, absolutely. I mean, at this point, you would be in the market for strictly a backup, strictly a number 2, and if that is the route you're going, then Quadri Diggs absolutely fits the bill. And again, if he is healthy, why not? That's depth, and you don't have to have too high of an expectation. You don't have to expect a 70 tackle season out of this safety coming in and playing 90% of your snaps. You can have a nice rotation with he and Juan Thornhill. So I would definitely be open to it. I think between him, I feel like Justin Simmons at this point feels like the next pipe dream. It feels more similar to Julian Blackmon at this point. So I like the Quadri Diggs option. I like Jordan Whitehead, and I think Marcus Williams has got to be another name that's in the running too.
I think Marcus Williams is too. I think the Steelers. Oh, we lost the light. It's all right.
Oh.
Here. I think this happened last year. I think you just got to give it a little wave.
The janitor forgot you were there.
Just a little wave. Chris Halleck from DK Pittsburgh Sports does this every year. He clogs it beforehand, and then I hope he's listening to this. But I think Marcus Williams is on the thing. I could see Quadri Diggs if he's healthy, and the Steelers are like, oh, we want a physical corner or a physical safety who could also play the slot if we need be. But I don't know. Quadri Diggs has been beat up for a couple of years, hasn't been a starter in the league in quite some time. I find it hard to say that he's up there. Marcus Williams, to me, is if he's coming, they just have faith that he's still got something left. To be honest with you, I don't know if he does, but I could see it. I'm just telling you, like, every sign points to Justin Simmons. You don't go get Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay and Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf to say, oh, we're going to stop signing the veterans now. It's not, we're now going to actually ease up on who we're bringing in. No, you're going to still go after like the top dog on the market. And the top dog on the market is Justin Simmons. It's not like you got to trade for him. You could just go get him. And they could make that work. But I do think Justin Simmons is still the name. And then just like you said, it'd be the other 2 in Jordan Whitehead and then Marcus Williams. And I think there's a significant gap between the 2. I'm turning this light back on. I hope everybody could still hear me.
There you go, Noah. Good job.
It's still not working. No. We're going to figure it out. We're back.
And he's back. Look at this guy go, ladies and gentlemen. Noah Strackbine getting the lights on for you. While he is tending to that, I'll take this time while Noah cannot say anything back to just say, no, Justin Simmons, I don't buy it still. But I believe Noah has better insights than me.
On what?
But I said I still don't believe Justin Simmons is like the guy to watch, but I think you have better insights than me about this.
I don't have any insight on if Justin Simmons would be the guy. It just makes the most sense, you know? Like why don't you think Justin Simmons would be the guy?
I just don't think he wants to come here. I think
Why?
like I don't feel as confident as you do about him like liking this fit in terms of the veteran, the line of veterans trying to win a Super Bowl together. I think Justin Simmons, I don't have a good reason. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have any sort of intel into it, like what he's prioritizing or something like that. But I do think that the opportunity for him to have come to the Steelers has been here for so long. If you wanted to just, sign the deal that we all expect him to sign, being a 1-year, vet minimum deal, that could have happened a long time ago, and he still would have been playing the same sort of role. So I feel like the longer this drags on, the more confident I become that a lesser name, the Jordan Whiteheads, the Marcus Williams are the players who are going to sign here rather than Justin Simmons, just because he still feels like the top name on the market. So I'm not saying that I have any sort of insight or any news into that, but that's what is in my heart right now, Noah.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I do, and I think that if Philadelphia calls, I think if Kansas City calls, there's an argument to be made of like, hey, I'm going there because they're a better contender. But I also think that if those teams don't call, like it doesn't make like the Steelers just make so much sense. There's an opening for you. It's the position that you play naturally in free safety. They're a contender, and if me and you consider them a contender, it doesn't mean anything compared to what the NFL considers them. You know what I mean? Teams, players look at this and go, have gone to the playoffs every single year. Mike Tomlin's very well respected along the league. TJ Watt's there. Cam Hayward's there. Jalen Ramsey's there. Darius Slay is there. There's a lot of names on this defense that I think would entice. Aaron Rodgers is there. Like people would be interested. Again, I don't know if 100%, you'd have other competition, but I think if the Steelers made an offer and nobody else did, it'd be hard to pass that offer up. I also don't think it'll be vet minimum. I think he's getting $5 to $7 million to come somewhere and play for a season. But I agree with you. I don't think that they're top dogs. If everybody else is looking at Justin Simmons, I think they'd lose out on the Chiefs, on Pittsburgh, or on Philadelphia, and then just any other real big Detroit, but I doubt it. San Francisco, that's a terrible move. San Francisco's Super Bowl window's closed, but
yeah, their windows is closed and shut compared to the Steelers. It's not even like that. I feel like what I was saying comes off as like an extra critical of the Steelers in terms of like them being a contender. I just feel like if the do you think the Steelers have not reached out to him at all during the summer? I feel like they probably already have, if I had to guess, and like presented him with what they could do. I don't think he wanted it, if I had to guess, and I'm just speculating. But Juan Thornhill was up for that. You know what I mean? Like that feels like the deal that they would have wanted to give Justin Simmons is the one that Juan Thornhill got. And I feel like Justin Simmons is at this point where he's like, I can just wait till like week 4 and sign with the Eagles or like the Bills or something.
That's what I mean. If that's what his plan is, the Steelers don't have a chance. But if he is looking to get somewhere during training camp, I don't think the Steelers had any interest in him until they traded Minka. And I don't think Minka was a premeditated move. I think it was okay, 2 for 1, let's pull the trigger and make this thing happen. And I think from there they started looking at other options, but I also think that they were getting TJ done and there was a lot going on. And I don't know. I think there was conversations probably to be had with Jalen Ramsey about his placement and where they'd play him. And then maybe it didn't turn out the way that they wanted, but I don't know. I think that the door is open for, the Steelers to have some interest. I don't think that interest has peaked yet, but I hear where you're coming from. I do hear where you're coming from. Before we finish it off with TJ here, I got a quick word from our boys over at Factor. Summer is here. more sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer, spending hours cooking inside. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick from gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day sun up to sundown with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. I'm here at camp, thank gosh, because if not, I'd be eating nothing but fast food and whatever my wife is cooking. And if I'm not doing either of those, you want to know what I'm leaning on? Factor all the time. Get started at factormeals.com/allsteelerstalk50 off and use code allsteelerstalk50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code allsteelerstalk50 off at factormeals.com/allsteelerstalk50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. That's factormeals.com/allsteelerstalk50 off. Let's talk TJ Watt here and close it on a fun one. TJ opened up about his cryptic tweet or his cryptic Instagram message. Let me tell you, first off, let's start with this one. TJ, I've never in my life seen TJ happier than I've seen him today, ever. It's actually like crazy how much this man is smiling. $23 million smile, $123 million smile, which, you know what I mean? I don't even know what that's like. I don't know what $123 million feels like, but I got a feeling it'd make me smile. It definitely bring a smile on my face. Knowing, you know what? I get to play football for $123 million. That sounds fantastic. He spoke to the media today and was asked about his cryptic post, his I'm out of here sign that went viral and sparked all of the nonsense that was this offseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers and everybody else. And he said, quote, "Sometimes it's just fun to have fun with narratives out there, because obviously I'm very tuned in with what's going on with negotiations and how things are going. And it's fun to see what you guys are all writing, thinking that things are one way, even though they're completely a different way. It's fun, especially when it's early in the offseason, to kind of throw something out there and see what happens." And it stirred things up way more than I ever thought it would. I think it's hilarious that TJ admitted that he did this to stir the pot in both the Steelers and the media and the fan base and everything else. Shows that TJ's got a little bit of a personality, which is good to know, because, you know what I mean, terrifying human being. And at the same time, I think it worked a little bit, because it seems like he got what he was looking for in money, contract, and everything else. But I also love that he was like, you know what, everybody else is doing this. Let's just toss something out there and see what happens. And, you know, good for TJ, because it, again, got him here with a giant smile on his face. I laughed as he said it. He laughed as he said it. Your thoughts on this one?
I'm genuinely glad that he was amused with himself. He seems like he was greatly entertained by the speculation that occurred this summer, and, you know, understandably so. I cannot empathize or put myself in the shoes of these players to have their entire lives discussed, you know, ad nauseum, you know, just because they play football. So I can certainly see that there's like some times and understand that there's probably some times where you just want to have a little bit of fun. You want to stir the pot. And we talk so much about how, you know, in today's NFL and in today's sports world, like, social media is such a tool for these players. It is a way to, you know, again, stir up all of this fan interaction, all of these theories. It stirs up all the speculation, all of the trade chatter, the rumor mill gets turned. And I think for him, it you know, whether he says it outwardly or not, he kind of hinted at it when he was talking to the media today. It certainly worked in his favor. Whether the Steelers were, you know, where they were at in the negotiations during the Deuces sign Instagram story post, like, I'm not sure. We don't really know what was going on that day during negotiations or the day before, whenever they had spoken last. But the Steelers didn't know what was going on as well, even if they were in communication, and we didn't know what was going on, like TJ Watt said. So I think it's incredible that he was able to utilize social media to his benefit. And I think we all are, now breathing a sigh of relief, but I think none of us actually were as I think we all were as sold about the opposite going on when we saw that Instagram story go up, over the summer.
I agree. Shout out to TJ Watt, man, just being a troll, and you gotta love it. You gotta love it. All right. With that said, let's start diving into questions. If you got them, toss them in the chat. We're gonna answer as many as we can before I gotta dip and go to Tomlin, which is happening soon. I just got the text. So with that said, let's get it trucking here with our boy. Don't let Aaron push the salad. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable. He's up there now, so we'll see what happens. I haven't seen anybody come down on the cart. And I know everybody went to go watch him. I did not. I came to do this. So let's keep it trucking. If what I took from Omar today is correct, all the vet pickups were not just for a bowl this year, but to help usher in the young blood and mentorship on this and next year's draft. Next year's draft picks, a slight youth rebuild. I don't think it's a slight youth rebuild. I think they just understand that they are hitting that point where, people are going to retire and they need to start kind of hitting on these guys. You know what I mean? Like, they can't view it anymore as, okay, like, we have a young TJ and a young Alex Highsmith. Like, they've missed on a lot of draft picks for a lot of years, and now they got to get those back. And that's kind of how I took those. But I did take it as in, like, the Steelers are all in this year, but they also are all in next year. And that's not going to change. They for sure want a Super Bowl in 2025, but they have done this correctly. And we've said this multiple times this offseason. They've done it correctly to be able to build in the future as well, and to have that gate and that window open for years to come, which I think is great and the right way to go about things. But I think Omar just kind of reiterated that. That's what I took away from it.
Yeah, it feels like this is the way Omar Khan wants to build a football team, and it's slowly sort of come to fruition. His plan has become clearer as he's taken over the role the past few years. Like, he clearly believes that you can be an all-in football team without mortgaging the future. And he's done that by bringing all these veterans who clearly are trying to win a Super Bowl this year, but he's such a diligent drafter. They have 12 picks for the 2026 draft currently. Like, that is the best of both worlds. So yeah, I think that there is a nice meeting in the middle here of compromise, if you will, of let's go for it, but we don't have to say screw everything else that happens after this year in order to go for it this year. So I'm actually quite impressed with how they've sort of bridged that gap. And we'll see how it plays out this year, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. You have to see how this year plays, but I do think that they've handled it better than I think people expected them to handle it when you make moves like Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey and so on and so forth. Bernard, do y'all think Rodgers is still good? I mean, I think he's better than the options they've had in years past. You could go back since Ben Roethlisberger, my friend. That is the last time I say the Steelers have had a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers. That is, I mean, as blunt as I could put it, they have not had a quarterback as good as Aaron since Big Ben retired.
Correct. Yeah. And it's really, I think, a man who threw 28 touchdowns and 11 interceptions last year is a good enough quarterback to continue, the run of non-losing seasons in Pittsburgh. So do I think he's a 4-time MVP caliber still? No, he's 41 years old, but I think he can win 10 games.
I think 10 games is good. I think he can win more. I think he could help you go on a run, to be honest with you. Like, I think he could be the piece that in crunch time gets you over the hump in an important game. Like, I think he's got that in him. Yeah, I would say Aaron Rodgers is still good. I do. Marlon Lewis. Noah, you saw how unsure I was last year. I'm all in. Am I drinking the Kool-Aid too much? No, I don't think you are. Like, do I think the Steelers are a top 5 Super Bowl team? No. Do I think they're significantly closer than they were a year ago? Definitely. I think the defense alone, the offensive line, is hopefully more developed and better. The defensive front is what I look at and say this is going to be the biggest game change. People don't understand how negative of an impact Larry Ogunjobi had on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, he didn't do much. You have Derek Harmon, you have Whitey Black, you have Jack Sawyer who's going to play both. Like, it's just what you did there is crazy. What you did in the secondary is crazy. Like, defense wins championships at the end of the day. That's still the case. And I wouldn't put my money on them, but last year I would have said the Steelers are not winning the Super Bowl. This year I'm just going to say if they went on a run, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
For sure. Did you see real quick that our buddy Warren Sharp listed the Steelers defensive line? I want to say third heading into this season.
I think they're there.
I agree.
Makes a lot of sense.
But I saw a ton of, because X is a hellscape of thoughts and words and tweets and stuff like that. Just so much doubt and so many like Steelers question mark. And it's like, you should just look at their camp roster right now and tell me 5 other teams, let alone 2, that have a better front 7 on paper going into this season. You can't do it. Can't do it.
I agree. And I think that's where it starts. Is it going to work? We'll find out. But I think that's where it starts, and you got to feel good about it. You always have to feel good about it. Cody Silva here. The new uniforms are like the honky-tonk special you bring home from the bar at 2 a.m. You hope it's there next time, but you don't tell your buddy about it. The new uniforms are pretty terrible. They are. The more I look at them, the more I'm like, these are dookie. But the Browns' new uniforms,
dookier.
Big dookie. Big stinky dookie. Terrible.
I'm not talking green.
Wet dookie from the river that the mascot fell in. That's what the Browns are. Shout out. Shout out. Chris, guys, if we were to trade for a big name wide receiver, I think we would need to shed a high salary player. Which players would we trade away to make this happen? The answer is none. Like, if you want a realistic answer, it's none. The Steelers wouldn't trade away anybody for and Mike Tomlin is set to start. It's all right. I'm here with you guys. They wouldn't trade away anybody for a wide receiver. Not a high profile guy. I just don't think they do it. The Minka thing was out of nowhere. But at the end of the day, I don't think they're going to add a wide receiver. If they were to, I don't know. I think we'd just be throwing out random names that would just get people to yell at me to tell me that I'm telling them that this is who they're going to trade. So I don't think I even want to do it. But I don't think realistically they would trade for somebody. Do you? Or trade away somebody for somebody?
Agreed. Yeah, they're not going to give up any one of their big, one of their important players who makes significant amount of money. And to be quite honest, it's of the impact players that might net you that number 2 or future number 1 wide receiver. Not a lot of them carry significant salary cap charges that would like free up the space that you might think it would. And I say this like every other show, but like it's all fake. So like if they wanted to bring in, Tyreek Hill or something like that, they'll figure out a way to make it happen. I don't even try to like do the mental gymnastics of trying to figure out how it might work, because when I tried to do it for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, I was like, this is impossible. There's no way the Steelers could do this and sign TJ Watt. And then they made cap space by adding 2 players and giving them raises. So to explain this to me, I don't know how it works.
I agree. Here's some breaking news here. Isaac Seumalo is going on the non-football injury list. Mike Tomlin says it's a soft tissue injury, could slow him early on. Not great.
That's awful.
Yeah,
That's
definitely awful. Definitely not good. Big blow for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what's going on there. The big thing is there that as long as he's good by week 1, the Steelers don't need him to practice during training camp. They really don't. Yeah. We'll see.
Probably better that he doesn't. Soft tissue injury like that is, that's one wrong move, one lateral movement away from becoming a larger problem or a recurring injury throughout the season. And he is, offensive line. This is where the Steelers season will be made or broken. As good as a defensive line that we were just talking about is, if Aaron Rodgers has 1.8 seconds to get rid of the ball on every passing down, this team will never win. It just won't happen.
Yes, I agree. Cordero Patterson is here. Let me tell you, Jacob, I didn't see him today, but I expected him to come up to me and say, hey, you're co-host. I'm a big fan of his. Big fan.
My best friend. I can't wait to befriend him. It's going to be the twist of all twists for AST whenever he's our first Steelers guest.
First Steelers guest of the season, coming on here hot from training camp where he's going to make the team.
If it would be good content, he can kick my ass. You know what I mean? Like
you can't
no?
be fighting players, dude.
No, I'm not saying I'm fighting. I would never fight the players. I'm just saying you kick my ass.
Well, they're going to fight you. They're going to fight. That's how fights start. Which I got to toss out Dalton here. Tomorrow is my anniversary, and Steelers start their season. Shout out. Let's keep it trucking as Cordero fights Jacob McCamp. Can we get it on video? Unreal. Guys, I just wanted to say happy anniversary, and it matched with what we were talking about. So, my guy.
Happy anniversary.
I won't get it on video. Instead, I will yell. I'm not going to go break it up. I'm just going to yell and be like, yo, guys, hey, it's happening. And then we're going to see who comes over to try to help because
no one, please.
Yeah, I'm not beating up NFL player. Not happening, pal.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. That being said, I should probably watch what I say more about Steelers players that I talk about and put on the internet every day.
Every single day to a fan base of about 1 million views a month. So, yes. Smoothest, craziest 9-8 seasons incoming. We got the retirement home defense going, but at least I got my custom Steelers cap in the mail. It says the jig is up on the back. If you know, you know. I actually love the hat. That's hilarious. Smoothest here, brother. I disagree on the retirement home. I think the Steelers defense looks great. Like, you got a good mix of young and old, and I think you need it. You know, I don't think it's that old, to be honest with you. Outside of Darius Slay, Cam Hayward, and Jalen Ramsey, I mean, it's really not that old. I think they got a lot of young pieces. I think I personally think the Steelers defense could be the best in the NFL. Would I predict that? No. But do I think it's got that upside? Yeah, I certainly think it's got that upside.
I agree with that. I also think that there is, I don't enjoy being pessimistic, but I think there is the small window here that Smoothest Buddhist presents to us here is that, like, this has been such an exciting offseason, such a different sort of offseason for the Steelers, that if it, it has the potential to be like the most fantastic flaming out 9-8 season, because there was so much expectations. It feels like the bar really did get raised in terms of what the Steelers can do in 2025 compared to the last few years. So there are some makings for like a disappointing end. I don't think that's where they're at. I think the pieces they have brought in and the changes they have made are to their benefit and will, show in their record and results in the 2025 season. But there's like this sliver of doubt in my head. There's like this 5% chance. It's like, man, if this is another 9-8 Pittsburgh season, this is like the shittiest one that they've had based off of the offseason moves.
I agree. I definitely agree on that one. I don't think it could get any worse than getting hopes, actually being able to admit they have contender status and then going 9-8 or like losing in the first round of the playoffs. It would be heartbreaking. Smoothest Buddhist, once again, any thoughts on the Steelers uniforms? One more time, we'll say it. Dookie. Absolute dookie, man.
That's the color of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's just rough. Like, just go with the bumblebees. You know what I mean? If you're going to go that bad, just go with the bumblebees, because at least those are cool, Like, you weren't even the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers last time you wore those uniforms. You're the Pittsburgh Pirates. You want to be the Pittsburgh Pirates again? That's what you want to do? You want to represent the Pittsburgh Pirates? Bob Nutting over here? No chance.
Shout out Bob Nutting. Speaking of
things,
for being the owner of a clay pigeon shooting range up near Seven Springs that has single-handedly created the most polluted waterway in Pennsylvania and maybe the United States since Flint, Michigan. So shout out to our boy Bob Nutting, who just knows how to run a damn business, baby. You're the man, Bob.
Dude, shout out to Bob, bro. He is the most beloved person in the city of Pittsburgh.
Yes, he is.
That's what they say. Shout out to good old Bobby Nuttin. Chris here, guys. I love Peyton Wilson, but with his speed, he might be better suited at outside linebacker to blitz and cover the flat with his 4.4 speed. Is he better at middle linebacker? Definitely. He's definitely better. The problem you find when you move a guy who's super fast but also lightweight to the outside linebacker position is he can't get around a tackle. Like he's fast enough to get off the ball, but if he's not going to beat you with the speed, like TJ will hit you at the same time. Payton's not going to do that. So I just think that's where it would become like a massive issue. It happens all the time. Who was the dude that went to Denver a couple of years ago? Who it was part of a draft class where like there were 4 or 5 inside linebackers who were also possibly outside linebackers, and they just had them play everywhere. And they were like, oh, this is just a hybrid role. And then none of them worked out because it just doesn't work out. Like Malik Harrison, great example here. Malik Harrison, inside outside guy. That man's massive. That man is a giant. He looks like TJ Watt. He looks as big as TJ Watt. He could just move better. I think that's where, you'd come into an issue. I think Peyton Wilson's really well suited to play inside linebacker. I don't think I'd be trying to move him, to be honest.
No, I would need him to like gain a lot of weight, and bulk up even more to be an outside linebacker that I would like. But the speed that Chris points out here is like, it is so noticeable in the way that he is able to read what's going on in a play, and he assesses something that's going on. Like he on running downs, like he is able to see the hole and almost get there faster than the running back can because he is so quick. So I think the speed that he has is exhibited and best used in the way that a middle linebacker performs his duties on the field. So I think he's ideally suited to be a middle linebacker, and a very, very good one at that.
I agree. A very, very good one. You kind of threw me off on that last part, but yeah, I agree with you. A very, very good one. I think he's got potential. Like I do think Peyton Wilson's got a lot of potential. Steelers' unluckiest reindeer. TJ's new contract definitely puts salt on the wound of Micah Parsons and Trey Hendrickson situations. Glad we struck first. I agree. And that was the thing is TJ didn't give a flying dookie about, that's the word of the day is dookie. A flying dookie about Micah Parsons getting paid, Trey Hendrickson getting paid, Max Crosby getting paid. All he wanted was that $41 million mark to say, hey, Miles, pal, I should have your Defensive Player of the Year award, and I have a better contract than you. So screw you. That's what it was. I mean, it's really at the end of the day, I don't think any other contract TJ cared at all. I think it was just Miles to say, I am better. Everybody knows it. Stop acting like that's not the case. Trey Hendrickson's not going to play for the Bengals this year. I have such a hard time thinking he's going to. You feel different?
No, I think the Bengals, I think I might have said this exact thing recently too. Like, I think the Bengals are like the biggest losers in this TJ Watt deal. Like they were obviously holding out hope that this deal would be less guaranteed money than what it actually was, that he wouldn't surpass Myles Garrett's yearly salary. Like there was all these things that were going to maybe help the Cincinnati Bengals in their negotiations with Trey Hendrickson, which were already going so poorly, as we've seen and read about and heard about all summer long. This deal comes in, it's massive. It's the biggest non-quarterback deal in the NFL history. Trey Hendrickson sitting there saying, I had more sacks than him last year. Not saying that he deserves more money. He does not, just to be 100% clear, he does not deserve more money than Myles Garrett or TJ Watt at all. But yeah, it just only muddies the water further. And what it does for Micah Parsons is it makes him even more expensive as well. So, the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals are the losers of this situation, and they're just going to have to fork over way more money than they thought. So I feel so bad.
I feel awful. I feel awful for good old Cincinnati. Don't let Aaron push sled salad. Realistically, is this year alone our only window? No, I don't think that. I think if you get I think two things. I think if you get close, you might be able to convince Aaron to come back for a year. And then after that, as long as the rookie quarterback is still here that year, and you could train your first round rookie quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers, I think the window stays open for at least 3 seasons, and then you see what goes from there. Obviously, things will change. Contracts will come up. But the Steelers are young and old, and their key pieces are young. Their offensive line is young. Their defensive line is young. Their inside linebacker room is young. Their wide receivers are young. Like they have the pieces to be young. If they could get a quarterback, I think it's open. I think it's strongest right now than it's going to be in the next 2 years, unless Aaron comes back next year. I don't think you win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, but I think if you could convince him to come back and say, let's see if we can do it again. You know what I'm saying? And then your rookie quarterback sits for a year. I think the window stays open for those 3 years. I don't know if you win one in those 3 years, but I think the window's open for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it shuts after 2025. At least not where things stand right now. Certainly good, season hasn't happened yet, but I think the window is going to remain slightly ajar in 2026, regardless of where Aaron Rodgers is. Even if he has a strong season and comes back, I still wouldn't be, super sold on him doing it again for the Pittsburgh Steelers, hypothetically. But nonetheless, I think the carousel would keep on spinning. The Pittsburgh Steelers just continue to have winning seasons, so they would find someone else to step into the role. And I think they would also be drafting their franchise quarterback, which would just be keeping that window open just long enough to take us into 2027 and beyond, which is when that window would fly back open again.
I agree. I want to answer this one, Harry, just giving you guys a little public service announcement here. We do get to most of the questions. And if you ask them a bunch of times, we still see them, but we get to them. We just want to make sure our super chatters get them first. Training camp practice is free. You just have to get tickets at Ticketmaster, but they don't cost anything. You just have to make sure you have one before you show up, and then you'll be good to go. All right, let's keep it trucking here. I also have one more from Don't Let Aaron push the sleds here. Sorry about all the calls this morning. First off, thought you were Jay for a second with the freaking Vodka Sonics, man. But then when you started talking bourbon, I knew it wasn't Jay. A fantastic call-in show today. For anybody who didn't check it out, it was for recording this before my eyes were open. I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie. It was fantastic. I went for Jacob knows about I call them my hot boy walks in the morning. That happened at 5:15 in the morning, somewhere. That's what time I got out of bed. And was recording it by 6:15 or something. Finished it, came downstairs. Jillian wasn't even awake yet. I was like, all right, sick. I'm tired, guys. I'm tired, but it's all right. Got a nice dinner tonight. We'll get back late, and then me and Jacob will get trucking up here tomorrow morning. It'll be a good time. Steelers, unluckiest reindeer, Irish wristwatch. Say it as fast as possible.
Nope.
I won't say it. I won't say that fast as possible. But this is a great comment.
Good try, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Not happening, pal. And Nate Moore, who's your favorite person that you interviewed today? Honestly, TJ. And it was in a press conference, but he was just so enthusiastic. It was awesome. Like it was just cool, man. Like TJ, it's good to see somebody with a smile. You know what I mean? Like smiles make the world better. Everybody should just smile all the time. On your worst days, try smiling. You know what I mean? Because like it just helps. It just helps. So it was TJ for sure. Besides that, we didn't really talk to a lot of people. It was a quiet arrival day. It's been quiet for quite some time, past couple of years, but it happens. What are you going to do? American Steel. What are your all-time top 5 Steelers or rivals, and was there any fun ones this year? There wasn't any fun ones this year. Nate Herbig has potential to like be funny and good, but he doesn't know that he can do that yet. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like you could tell he's like, when somebody tells him like, hey, Nick, you could show up like driving a train. He'll do it, but we didn't get that. He was a good time, but there really wasn't any ever. You got top 5 of all time. I mean, AB's helicopter's got to be number 1.
That
right?
has to be number 1.
Yeah,
that was
8 hours late.
AB's is the easy number 1. I don't even know if I have a top 5, but I have a top 2, and the second one is Vince Williams and the Stone Cold Steve Ott. Like that was everything to me.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's another one that I should be remembering that I don't at the moment. But yeah, I have a top 2 for you. So how is that, American Steel?
No, it's pretty good. James Harrison driving the 18-wheeler, also a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good
fantastic one. Ooh, what are some other good ones? I mean, I was a big fan of Eli Rogers always showing up in the hard hat. I thought that was a good one as
Hard
well.
worker.
Oh man, dude, I don't know. Landon Roberts last year was good, but it wasn't like, I don't know, it didn't stand out, in the overalls the way. Yeah,
Oh,
see,
the
nobody even
overalls.
remembers. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But those would be my top 3, I think, all time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think for sure. Marlon Lewis here. Do we finally have the guys that we've been looking for? Physical, trash talking playmakers. Maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too much, but I feel this team has the most Tomlin guys since 08. Yeah, I think the Steelers are a very physical trash talk. That was what the goal was this offseason. They wanted to go out and get guys that wanted to punch you in the mouth. And I think they succeeded. I don't think you're drinking the Kool-Aid. I think they succeeded.
Yeah, this team fancies themselves a hard-nosed smash mouth group for sure. So yeah, I think that very much is a callback to the 08 Tomlin, to the early years of Tomlin and the defense that he was coaching. So yeah, I mean, I am hoping, I'm praying that we see a return to that, because it seems like these are a bunch of guys who are confident in making and talking that trash, but then they back it up on the field as well. So eager to see it on the field take place.
Yeah, for sure. Harry, one more time here just to make sure that we know where we get tickets. You get them at Ticketmaster, I believe. The Steelers website probably also sells them, but Ticketmaster, I'm pretty sure. And you just they're all free, but you could just jump on and snag one. Maddie here. By the end of the preseason, should fans be optimistic about our receiver room? I know they're not big names, but can they move the needle if they keep making steps forward? Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that the Steelers wide receiver group has potential. It's just about seeing them, but if they're good, yeah, I mean, I think they should definitely be on there.
Yeah, I mean, and I think everything that the Steelers coaching staff has said and has discussed, and the little that we've heard so far between minicamp and the offseason and all that stuff, suggests that they feel very confident in Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin and this wide receiving room in general. So it stands to reason, and it's been a huge part of why I continue to say that they don't have any plans to bring in anybody else, because they really like what they see here. And I think that they have plans for them that is harder to get on board with from outside of the organization, because we haven't seen it play out on the field yet. But I think that there is an overwhelming amount of confidence in Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. And I think that kind of translates through the entire receiving room. So I don't know if I share the same confidence right now, but I mean, I'm at least leaving space and the opportunity for them to make up that difference.
Yeah, I agree. So we keep it trucking here. Nate Moore. Oh gosh. Is it possible GP is just salty that the Steelers wanted to trade him and he took that as disrespect? Potentially. I think JP is just a salty guy, man. I just think I've never met somebody who just like loves being angry, man. You know what I mean?
He's definitely got a chip on his shoulder all the time. Yeah, I think he's salty. I think he thought that the Steelers were going to pay him all this money and that he was going to be, the next big money wide receiver and get that next big contract, and it just didn't work out. So, I'll give him some grace and say that maybe that is why. But I think there's also this overwhelming amount of evidence that he's just kind of like this.
It's just who he is, man. Somebody asked me today, they said, yo, remember that time GP came up to you in the locker room? What'd he say? I was like, I don't know. He's just trying to like fight me for no reason. He just wasn't. It's just what it was, man. Just what it was. I will say a lot of NFL players, he was the first one that I looked at and said, I don't think you actually would. I don't think you actually would. Not
clip it and send it to him right now.
He'd murder me. That's not the point. I just meant you didn't actually watch the show. You've no idea what you're actually arguing about. That was my argument for sure. Heath Miles here. Hey guys, great show. Just received my AST hoodie. Shout out my guy. That is awesome. I'm super fired up for you. I'm pumped up. For those of you who are waiting on shirts, I think there's a couple at this point that are waiting on shirts from the winners and that kind of stuff. On the way, ordered new shirts, to be honest, and figured I'd send the new ones out instead of the old ones to, make sure everybody got some up-to-date stuff. So once they get here, I'll toss them in the mail and they'll be your way. But I wanted to keep everybody up to date. Heath, man, can't thank you enough for the support. The hoodies are the same, so you didn't get the old hoodie. Hoodies are still the same. They ain't going nowhere. Those things are awesome. I'm a bit super comfy. So I hope you enjoy it, my man. For sure. David Corsa, if we do not sign Simmons and we sign anyone else or trade, hopefully not, would you consider it a miss and a waste of a move? I would. Thornhill seems to be the same quality as any other option. I hear where you're coming from here. My only pushback is that you need a third safety and the Steelers don't have anybody. So you have cap space. Why would you not go out and get another safety? You know what I mean? Miles Gilbert ain't playing backup safety. You don't have another option. I just think that's the only pushback I have is maybe it doesn't have to be a starter, but you certainly need another safety because you utilize 3 and you only have 2.
Yes, I think that, the key thing here is they need a third. The Steelers consistently and under Tomlin have utilized 3 safeties in some sort of rotation. I would consider it a miss because they don't get the best available player, the person who could maybe help them the most. But I don't think that it would totally destroy what the Steelers are able to do within their defensive scheme. Because someone like a Jordan Whitehead, Marcus Williams, someone like that could come in and give you enough consistency, not overwhelmingly good, not superstardom, nothing like that, but can give you solid, dependable play that could fit into that rotation. So I wouldn't consider it a huge miss, but I would consider it to be, something that a slight miss, let's call it.
A slight miss. I agree. Did you guys hear that?
No.
No, something just exploded at St. Vincent College here, for sure. Harry, one more here. See you fellas on Friday Night Lights. Just
Harry.
Got to make sure, man. I'm glad for you. Tortellini salad with all the bad throwback jerseys. I think the next one should be a remix of the 1943 Steagles jerseys when Philly and Pitt combined. Due to World War II, that would be awesome, actually. I don't even remember what the uniforms looked like. I would imagine they were super ugly. I just think they should always just make them the block numbers. Just make them look like Iowa and make everybody happy. That's the easiest way to go about it. But the Steagles, I don't know the uniforms. I would imagine they're hilarious. I would imagine that they are.
I'm trying to see if I can find any pictures.
Yeah, dude. Was there even? I don't know when cameras were invented.
Oh, there were cameras back then. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know these things. Nothing.
This is crazy. No, if this is right, they wore like basically Eagles jerseys, but like Steelers socks. This cannot be right.
Yo, I hope that's what they do. Actually, that's
crazy.
So awesome. All right,
the Eagles.
Let's keep it drunken here. Marlon Lewis, what about trading a third to the Patriots for Jabril Peppers? I'm not giving up a 3rd round pick for him. I'd give up a 5th round pick. I don't know if
I'd give him a vending machine.
I don't know if Jabril Peppers is like the guy. Like he kind of plays the same position as Deshaun Elliott. Like you just have you need another free safety.
Yeah.
You need a free safety. They have like 17 strong safeties. You need a free safety.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the move.
Right? Yeah. No,
I agree.
I'm not against like Jabril Peppers being like another part of the rotation or like competing for a spot, but 3rd round pick is like way too much for me. Again, I would give up like a laundry machine or a vending machine at most to bring him in. So like I wouldn't be willing to give up a lot of draft assets to bring him in.
No, I agree here. I agree. American Steel, is Jacob in witness protection hiding from Patterson, and that's why he isn't at camp? If so, he needs the trench coat, glasses, and fake mustache. You should show up tomorrow with a fake mustache. That would be awesome.
I'm not against it.
I know you're not. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like it, to be honest. That's why I like it here. David, what's the odds we make the Super Bowl within the next 5 years? Go ahead. I'll let you answer this one. Next 5 years, Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Odds are strong. Odds are strong. I'm not a bookie, so I can't give you the quick odds on that, but I'd say over 50%. I think the only caveat thing that would dip this below is if the Steelers utterly swing and miss on drafting a franchise quarterback either in 2026 or at worst 2027. Barring that happening, the Steelers, I feel very confident in saying, will reach a Super Bowl. I'm not saying win, but we'll reach a Super Bowl within the next 5 years.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to let that ride. I'm going to let that one ride.
My man.
'Cause I'm not going to kill the dream. You know what I mean? Marlon Lewis, why did DK look so pissed off? Is it just resting bitch face or not a morning person? I will say, I don't think anybody like pulling up to a crowd of people you don't know and then having to walk. Like TJ's like, oh, what's up, guys? You know, it's good to see you. A bunch of other guys are like that too. And then DK pulled up. He's like, I don't know any of you guys. Like, why are you here crowding my way? Get out of my way. And I don't blame him, man. I don't blame him. DK seems like a good dude, but I think it was just a little bit of, you know what I mean? Everybody's showing up at 11 o'clock somewhere. First off, I don't even think we should be paying attention to the faces, okay? It's the amount of guys who show up in sweatpants and sweatshirts that I go, how are you doing this? I watched Jalen Ramsey's face the entire interview just to see when he started to sweat. He didn't sweat. Not one drip. I was pouring sweat out there. I didn't do anything. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Pouring sweat. Yeah, that's what we should be. The amount of dudes who show up in sweatsuits, that's what we should be concerned about.
Craziness.
Craziness. Absolute craziness. Artisanal Bully Kennel. Noah, I just wanted you to know that your youngest fan, my sweet baby Lola, is enthralled with you. There are two things that she likes watching on TV, Miss Rachel and Noah Strackbine. Lola, that's awesome. I can't tell you how
sweet.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. And you got a boatload of fans from us. We're fans of you guys. So shout out to Lola. That's awesome. That is awesome. Maddie here. That's awesome. I listened to Russ's presser today. Bro sounds like a robot. Literally said the same stuff in Pittsburgh thoughts. Yeah, my thoughts are that you're spot on there, Maddie. Spot on. You just knew. You know what I mean? There are quarterback answers, and then there's Russ naming every player on the offense. And you're going, all right, brother, I get it. But the fourth string tight end, I don't really think we need we asked you how the left tackles are playing. You know what I mean? I don't really think we need to get here. What went wrong against the Bengals? I just don't think you need to praise the janitor. I just don't think that this is what needed to happen. Yeah, that's just Russ, man. That's just Russ. Wild. I wish you got to experience it. You know what I mean?
Media trained.
That's one way to put it, for sure. For sure. David, what are the odds Ramsey is back next year? I know it's not forever, but Ramsey in a black and gold jersey, you might not be able to pass up. I agree. I think Jalen Ramsey in the number 5 in like a throwback dark jersey with the yellow letters, tough for sure. I would say the chances he's back next year are pretty high, to be honest.
I hadn't considered that he wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think he's going to be here next year. After next year, contracts become a little different. You can move on from them, but I think you got him this year and next year, for sure. Sure. And we'll finish it off with this one. James, hey, Noah, hope you're having a great time. Appreciate you. This time last year was the last question I asked about getting Sutton. I was just wondering what's going on with Rock Taylor. Is it possible he might be a sleeper? It's possible, but, I'm really trying to curb the optimism about Rock Taylor because I haven't seen anything from him yet, and when I see something from him, things will change. But for right now, I don't know, we were both at minicamp and we both walked away going, oh, I forgot about Rock Taylor. You know what I mean? Didn't stand out, didn't have that crazy moment. Until that happens, I'm not going to sit here and hype up what could be. I want to see it because what could be with an undrafted guy is nothing. You know what I mean? Sebastian Castro. He even looked good at minicamp, and you just got to sit here and go, yeah, you got to continue it because you are fighting such an uphill battle that it doesn't take one good day. It takes an entire camp for you to make that team. So could he be a sleeper? Yeah, but I would not label him one just yet.
Well said. Nothing to add to it. Optimistic that he can improve, but nothing there yet.
Yeah, I agree. All right, guys. With that said, we're heading out of here. Day 1, arrival day. Waterboy guys, do I have to have salad at the end of the thing to my name to get it answered?
Correct.
We'll answer it. Everybody's getting a little feisty in this chat today. My gosh, guys. No, I think you asked earlier if we should be checking in on our exes. I think that the Steelers game this year kind of forces that. How do you think our formers will play against us? That's a good question. I mean, I think Justin Fields is going to play pretty well. Who else do we have?
You?
Yeah, I think Justin Fields is going to play pretty okay. I think the Jets are going to stink, but I think Justin Fields is going to be okay. Who else would we play? That's our exes. Deontay, Kenny. Come on. If Deontay's quarterback's Joe Flacco, actually, I'm giving props to Deontay. I think Deontay's a good wide receiver. Kenny, no. Kenny's big fat no. Who else we got? Where else we got? Minka. We don't play the Dolphins.
No, we do play the Dolphins.
They do?
I thought so. Later in the season, I thought.
Okay. Well, Minka could be a dangerous one for sure. If I had to pick anybody that was going to just roast the Steelers, Minka Fitzpatrick with 4 interceptions seems like a pretty freaking good one.
That's a good bet.
Anybody else? I don't know who else we play here.
No one.
Got to go through them. Seattle, nobody. Green Bay, nobody. New England, nobody. Baltimore, nobody. Cincinnati, nobody. I got to be missing somebody. It's a good one, though. We don't play the Giants. I don't know.
Yeah, we play the Dolphins week 15.
That's a good one. Who else is on our schedule? Go through the schedule.
We got? We got New York, Seattle, Patriots, Minnesota, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Green Bay, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, Cincinnati, Chicago, Buffalo.
Kevin Dotson. Oh, that's the Chargers. No,
Chargers.
No, it's not. He's with the Rams.
Yeah, he's with the Rams.
Yeah.
Bills, Ravens, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, Ravens.
Yeah.
So I think we got them all.
Minka's going to be the big one for sure. Minka's going to be the big one.
Yeah.
That'll
be a fun one.
Yeah. Shout out. That's a good question, Waterboy. Way to call us out. Appreciate you. we needed it. Otherwise, we would have missed it. Shout out.
Sure.
Shout out, my guy. All right, y'all. With that said, guys, we're heading out of here. Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk live from St. Vincent College here with no lights on at Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. And as always, find all of our work at si.com/NFL/Steelers. We'll be back tomorrow live from St. Vincent. Remember, tomorrow we're going just about 5 o'clock. It might be give or take a little while depending on how interviews go, but we're going to try to get on at that 5 o'clock schedule. Najee's the other one we forgot about if he's playing.
Superficial eye injury might take that away from him.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but yeah, if he's playing. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock. So make sure you guys are tuning into that. As always, it's a good one. We're back. Training camp's here. Get excited. Get a smile like TJ's. Maybe you don't have $123 million, but Pittsburgh Steelers football is back, and we should be rowdy about it. Enjoy another beautiful day in the Berg. Peace.